How's it going, guys? What of course I'll be doing today is breaking down and reviewing the exotic auto rifle in Destiny called the Zalo Supercell. This weapon has a chance to drop anywhere where exotics drop, such as the Taken King raid. It can be delivered from Xur. It can drop from legendary exotic Ingrams, especially using the 3 of coins and 3 of coins farming, which is how I got mine. So it can drop all sorts of different ways. Before I start breaking down all the stats, aesthetically it looks like you're playing Battlefield or Call of Duty, not including of course the arc element attached, because it looks like an AK-47. Looks like it, shoots like it, it contains a banana magazine and the nice iron sights, and it has a good look and feel to shoot it. Statistically, the gun itself starts with 290 damage. You can infuse it higher. The fire rate's 88%, is an impact rating of 8%. A range of 28, a stability rating of 46, a reload percentage of 72, and a magazine size of 36. So based on preliminary look, the reload speed's fantastic and the magazine size is great too. The 88 fire rate means it will be hitting for medium to lower damage per shot for balance purposes, but it's not an Atheon's Epilogue-esque bullet hose. It has slightly more damage per shot. The perks completely make this weapon. Otherwise it would just be a very average looking assault rifle, and I'll break those down next. In terms of PvP damage output, it hits for 16 on body shots and 20 on headshots, with a slight drop off in damage of 1 to 2 the further you are outside of medium range. With regard to the skill tree, all Zalo supercells are the same because they're exotics. They all deal arc damage. You have an always active perk on called Zalo Supercell, go figure, that gives a chance to produce arc projectiles that chain lightning from one target to another. It's an incredibly fun perk, and you can damage an entire mob of enemies by shooting at one and lighting up the entire room doing so. You have 3 clear options in terms of the scopes. CQB Ballistics, which greatly reduces recoil but dramatically impacts range. Negatively, I should say. Smart Drift Recoil, which produces predictable and more controllable recoil at the expense of range again. And lastly, Aggressive Ballistics, which gives more but more predictable recoil, but it cuts into range slightly and stability slightly, but enhances impact per shot. Which means if you're using it in PvP, it will hit slightly harder per shot. The hit to stability to be used Aggressive Ballistics, to be honest, is far too much for me to bear, so I choose Smart Drift Control, and I've never had a problem with it otherwise. When breaking down the skill tree, the first perk is called Persistence, which increases the weapon's accuracy the longer it's fired. The synergy with this perk and this weapon pairs extremely well because you'll be holding down the trigger very often with this weapon anyway. The next 3 perks which you'll have a choice over are Hammer Forge, which increases range and accuracy, and it would actually be my choice. Rifled Barrel, which increases range but slows down your reload speed a bit. And Braced Frame, which dramatically increases stability but cuts the magazine size down. Again, I feel the best perk with little to no trade-off to speak of is Hammer Forged. The last perk of note, of course, and it's the best one that makes the weapon, is called Bolts from the Blue. Double kills with this weapon charge super energy. It's not quite bad juju level, but it's close per double kill. It's actually very good. And it returns a small amount of ammo to the magazine per double kill as well. The thing is though, that small amount is actually about a third of your magazine, so about 10-ish rounds, maybe 12 if it's exactly 36. And that's quite the feedback for double kills. So basically, you get extreme positive feedback for killing thrash mobs. It's really good. So with regard to my overall impressions in PvE, like I just said, it's really good. It's actually one of my new favorite weapons, and I'd feel safe calling it one of the absolute best PvE thrash killing mob weapons in the game. Easy. I don't even have to unlock many of the other exotics. I already know this one's going to be top tier. Minus the perks, like I said earlier, it would be a very average weapon, and probably one you wouldn't really use in many situations. But because it has such great perks, you'll find yourself continually using this weapon and continuously replenishing your super and eliminating taken mobs as well, while getting the sick thrill of seeing tons of lightning, having your magazine continually replenished, and your super replenished as well. But that's only for mobs, bear that in mind. The one negative about this weapon is that when taking on majors or bigger bosses, it doesn't perform as well anymore. So it's very, very good for mobs. If you pair this thing with a Night Stalking Hunter, and you like throw out your bow, pierce some enemies together, which is already giving you the damage buff and orbs, this thing is an absolute joke. It's a monster. In PvP though, it's strictly a medium range weapon. It will get you killed versus someone using a shotgun in close range, and your bait for scout rifles or pulse rifles at longer range. The perk set's more geared for PvE, and that's where the weapon is at its best. Yes, you can chain lightning to other people in the Crucible, but there's a good chance that they'll run away before they can be significantly damaged or killed, but it does help a bit. But as said, the perk set is more geared for PvE, and that's where the weapon, I think, is at its absolute best. So overall, it's one of the absolute best mob killers in the game. It's so much fun in PvE, but it's average in PvP. You can have success with it, but a lot of the perks won't be geared to giving you success in the Crucible. Have a good one.